Yes, my friends, the wait is finally over, and Ravens football is officially back. After months of rumors, questions, and endless anticipation, something huge happened on the very first day of Baltimore Ravens training camp, and we need to talk about it. One of the team's biggest stars is finally back on the field. Lamar Jackson is already showing why he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and there are several signs that this team could be building something very special for the upcoming season. I truly want to see the Baltimore Ravens back in the Super Bowl. Honestly, that's the dream every member of the flock shares. But now I want to hear from you. Do you believe this roster has everything it takes to bring another Lombardi trophy to Baltimore this season? Or do you still think the Ravens need something else before they can truly compete for a championship? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've been a Baltimore Ravens fan for more than 15 years, smash that like button. Alright, now let's talk about everything that happened on the first day of Ravens training camp. The return of Nnamdi Madubuike is easily the headline of the day. Seeing him wearing number 92 and participating in training camp again is something Ravens fans have been waiting a very long time to witness. Although the coaching staff is taking a cautious approach and easing him back into football activities instead of throwing him into a full practice immediately, simply having him back on the field is a massive victory for this team. After suffering one of the most talked about injuries in recent Ravens history, there were months filled with rumors, speculation, and very little information coming out of the organization. Now there is finally clarity. Madubuike is back, he has been medically cleared, and he can begin working his way toward full football condition. That doesn't mean he'll immediately be playing every snap, but it means the recovery process has reached the point everyone hoped it eventually would. Another important development involved Calais Campbell. Following the personal tragedy he recently experienced, the Ravens are making sure they give him all the time he needs before asking him to jump fully into football activities. He reported to training camp, but the coaching staff made it clear there is absolutely no reason to rush him back. That says a lot about how this organization handles its veterans and treats players as people first. After nearly 2 decades in the NFL, Campbell understands exactly how to prepare himself physically, and allowing him to return at his own pace reflects strong leadership from the coaching staff while also highlighting Campbell's professionalism and resilience. When it came to Lamar Jackson, the reports were overwhelmingly positive. Multiple observers described him as extremely sharp throughout practice. One report tracked him completing 10 of his 13 pass attempts, and what's even more impressive is that every incompletion reportedly hit the hands of his receivers. In other words, Lamar was putting the football exactly where it needed to be. The incompletions weren't the result of inaccurate throws. They came because the passes were dropped. That is actually encouraging for Ravens fans because accuracy has never stopped being one of Lamar's strengths, and today was another reminder of that. The receivers who reportedly dropped passes included Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman. Andrews was said to have dropped 2 while Bateman had 1. Of course, nobody wants to hear about dropped passes, but it's also important to keep everything in perspective. This is the very first practice of training camp. Mistakes are expected. Timing is still developing. Conditioning is still improving. Coaches are installing new concepts. If players are going to get these mistakes out of their system, now is exactly the time to do it rather than during meaningful regular season games. More importantly, both Andrews and Bateman also made positive plays throughout practice, proving that today's performance shouldn't be judged by a couple of drops alone. Bateman actually delivered one of the better catches of the day, adjusting beautifully to a pass from Lamar Jackson and securing the reception after making a difficult movement toward the football. That's the type of play Ravens fans have been hoping to consistently see from him. Training camp will naturally include both successes and mistakes, and today's practice showed examples of both. Another noticeable trend reported throughout practice involved the offensive system itself. Several observers pointed out that Lamar Jackson spent much more time operating from under center than Ravens fans have become accustomed to seeing. The offense reportedly moved at a faster pace as well. While it's only one practice, those observations may provide an early glimpse into how this coaching staff wants to evolve the offense. It is far too early to draw major conclusions, but seeing adjustments in tempo and formation usage is certainly something worth monitoring as camp continues. There were also encouraging individual performances from several players. Jacob Lane reportedly looked sharp during practice, while Chris Moore received praise for making plays throughout the session. Even though practice lasted less than 90 minutes, multiple reports consistently described the overall energy as extremely positive. It was the first official day back after the long off-season, and everyone involved seemed excited to finally begin preparing for meaningful football again. Perhaps one of the most fascinating stories from today had nothing to do with a spectacular play. Instead, it involved the relationship between Lamar Jackson and the coaching staff. Lamar revealed that he plans to spend significant time meeting with Jesse Minter to study different NFL defensive concepts. That could become one of the most valuable developments of the entire offseason. A head coach with extensive defensive knowledge helping one of the league's most dynamic quarterbacks understand how opposing defenses think creates an opportunity for Lamar to continue growing as a complete quarterback. Learning what defenses are trying to disguise before the snap can only help him make even faster decisions once the season begins. It's a perfect example of iron sharpening iron. Today's practice also produced several explosive offensive plays. Lamar connected with Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman on deep completions during team drills, showing that the offense is capable of stretching the field. Bateman's adjustment on one of those catches especially stood out because it demonstrated concentration and body control despite earlier drops. At the same time, the defense also had moments to celebrate. One report suggested Trey Hendrickson would have recorded a sack on Lamar Jackson during a live game situation, reminding everyone that even though the offense produced exciting moments, the pass rush is still capable of making life difficult. Mike Green also generated praise during practice, particularly for his ability to defend against the run and react quickly during plays. One report even noted how well he took his pursuit angle while tracking Lamar Jackson, something that is much easier said than done. Considering how elusive Lamar is, staying stride for stride with him represents an impressive athletic accomplishment. Adding even more excitement, Kyle Hamilton reportedly commented that Lamar Jackson actually looks faster than before. That is a frightening thought for opposing defenses. Lamar has already established himself as one of the most dangerous athletes the NFL has ever seen at the quarterback position. If teammates believe he has become even quicker, that could create even bigger problems for every defense Baltimore faces this season. The overall feeling coming out of the first day of training camp is one of optimism. The practice itself was relatively short, and nobody should overreact to a single session. But there were far more encouraging signs than concerning ones. Matabike is back. Lamar looked accurate and confident. The offense appears to be experimenting with new concepts. Coaches are showing patience with veterans who need time. Young players are making positive impressions. Defensive playmakers are flashing their talent. Most importantly, football is officially back. After months of free agency discussions, draft analysis, off-season speculation, and endless waiting, Ravens football has finally returned. This is only the beginning of training camp, meaning every practice will bring new developments, position battles, standout performances, and storylines that will shape the regular season. There is still plenty of work ahead before Week 1 arrives, but today's practice gave Ravens fans every reason to feel excited about what lies ahead. The foundation appears to be strong, the roster looks motivated, and the coaching staff is already making its presence felt. Now I want to hear from all of you. Which development from today's first day of training camp excites you the most? Is it the return of Nnamdi Matabike? Lamar Jackson looking sharp? The new offensive approach? Or another player who caught your attention? Share your thoughts below because this is only the beginning, and the conversation around this Ravens team is just getting started. Go Ravens!